Hey guys, welcome. I'm Alex.
And May?
I'm Marco.
Hey, today we got to start off with this quote: "Sell in May, go away." What does that mean? Well, since May, you have the same name. I think perhaps we start with you.
Right. I think that's a saying. And surprisingly, when you go back to a lot of stocks or of financial assets, especially stocks, um, May is not a good month somehow with the stocks. But there's no hard evidence on the thing that you really have to sell in May. But I think May suggests that it's before the ending of the quarter, second quarter. So you might expect some turbulence when you see all the financial reports and all the reports that's coming at the end of the quarter. So sell in May before everybody else speculate any bad things are going to happen in June, and then the company is trying to bring it back up because all the bad rumors mostly happen in the middle of the year. So you sell before the bad rumor starts, and that's I think that's a meaning of sell in May. But don't take that as a gospel, right? Because some Mays, they're good Mays in the history, and there are lots of bad Mays in the history too. Mm,
Okay.
right.
And do you think this is mostly sensationalism, or is it just kind of a trend? Because I know that, of course, stock market, there's always the fundamentals, but it's also very much emotion driven. So,
Mm.
is there some type of patterns? How long ago did they come up with this quote? Is this something that's a common knowledge for a long, long time? Or
As long as I remember, decades. If I really can't put my finger on, but for sure, it's been a decades. At decades, not a decade, decades of saying about this. And I think, when people believe in one thing enough, um, they make it happen. I mean, if you looking at, well, from the religious sense or cult sense or any sense, you believe in one rumor and it happens. You know that used to there's a rumor, that's not a rumor, there's a one event that happened, an ATM in the bank, one bank in Thailand didn't work well, just say. And then because people so believe that banks are a very sturdy institution, banks there for you, there to stay and there to last. So these employees, the whole factory has this ATM, and they couldn't withdraw the money because the banking system itself had a problem. But because of the belief that the banks are there to stay and they don't think that banks can have anything wrong with it, they threatened to burn down the factory. And it's like, when you see people pull their beliefs together without any checking, I think it starts to become true in the sense that the actions that they're doing become more along with the belief that they have. So when they say sell in May, I think after first quarter, people start to monitor things. In April, people start to get frantic, panic, and start to wonder if I should really sell in May. And when people more careful during April and May, I think it gives some psychological effect. The same as buy in October. People start to look at certain signs and give themselves certain reasons to sell in May, give themselves certain reasons to sell in October. And when enough people believe in the same thing, I think it can happen. So to answer your questions, Alex, I think it's emotional, it's sensational, and I think, but of course, it must have some truth in it. But I believe that people more wary during May and April,
so it's
and
almost
and
a,
I
And
think
I,
you should be too.
yeah.
so it's almost a
Sorry.
self-perpetuated cycle, right? It's
Mhm. For decades,
Or
we've been.
like fulfilling prophecy, right? So if
Mm,
a bunch of people believe that um, the world is ending, then they probably all going to dig a hole and hide underneath ground.
Yeah. I mean, actually, it's the same thing with FTX. People believe that FTX is collapsing, and people withdraw money until FTX actually collapsed. And not because FTX is a good player from the start, but if they don't withdraw money, it might delay the destruction of FTX itself much further, or
Yeah.
FTX might have time to patch its holes. I don't know, but the thing is, when people believe enough, it causes bank run. It causes certain things to happen. When people believe enough, you will see, waterfall graph that everything falls down, and so when people say sell in May, and even though there's no hard evidence of to sell in May, but I think during May you should be careful too, because everybody believes the same way.
Well, this is a great tips. I think from now on I would just be very, very careful around April, beginning of May.
Yeah,
This is
I think
awesome.
the good month is May to watch to sell or to short. I normally advise against short, unless you know what you're doing. And to sell and keep your cash is like probably the best way. To buy in October. And last week we talked about to buy gold before Chinese New Year, because I
Yeah.
checked, and actually, surprisingly, I didn't believe that there's such a demand. I mean, I know that Chinese loves gold. Okay, this is like no secret. They love gold, and but I don't think that they buy grams of gold to give away, and people might end up buying a kilo of gold, but but when you see transaction between institutions and nationals, you look at tons of gold, not grams of gold, and but so I really don't see that information, but after I check, a lot of information that I've been looking pointing to the direction that actually grams of gold that the Chinese all over the world kept buying really pushed up the gold price. So, well,
Yeah,
another tip
I'm
is,
looking at it now. It's pretty amazing. What's that? 1820 in January 1st, and then now it's at 1920, and at one point was at 1940. So it grew, quite a bit. Like I think 5%. Is that true? Like, yeah.
mm,
Anyways, yeah, this is interesting.
yeah, but because we don't this is like just a saying that people say in the society, and this is like the wearing point, but questions back to you too, because you are heavy on investments, and I think you've been doing a lot. What do you think about this year? What is your playbook look like?
Well, Marco, you go first.
I think things are moving quickly. I'm not sure if it's just me, but I feel like a lot of things are moving very quickly around me, and I'm just trying to catch up right now. I think it's also part of the fact that we just went through 3 years of COVID, and during COVID, everybody's waiting for things to happen. There are these shutdown policies. Um, but I just had a meeting with my team in Guangdong today, and I just asking them like, "Hey, how's the COVID situation in your town?" And they were saying like, "Yeah, they don't feel anything right now. They feel like everything is back to normal. The people are starting to travel overseas. So it's pretty. I think it's pretty crazy. I think I would envision this year everything would be extremely fast, and the market would move quite violently. I think up and down. That's my prediction.
Yeah, it's gonna be a huge rush, I think, and then there's gonna be adjustments and then huge rush again. It's gonna be constantly people just trying the grounds right now, because it's almost like when you just wake up and you have to stand up, and then you still have to find your balance here. And I think this year is going to be very much like this. As I said, I actually invested in another company, that makes painkillers. And that company for the last 2 years, a lot of investors has been shying away from investing, raising money. It was quite a challenge, and all of a sudden, everybody started knocking on our doors again. So we'll see. I don't think it's going to be on the same craziness level as when COVID first started, because during that time there's a huge rush, and just there's that's when like Wall Street bets was happening, and like Hong Kong, there's a lot of really crazy movements. 10 cent going to like 700, or above. But now I think it's resurging, it's coming back, and I guess with everybody, as Marco says, there are people who work in this industry, and then they see themselves getting busier, and then they kind of assume everything else is getting busier. It's kind of the perception. So, I think there's going to be at least more activities involved right now.
Yeah, and I will add to that. Like, I think private equity is pretty much driven by secondary market, right? I mean, private equity investors mostly are, thinking about making capital gain through IPO and secondary market. So when the secondary market is slowed down, and that's especially the case for Asia, for China A-share and Hong Kong H-share, the whole sort of private equity markets are, totally slowed down because people have no incentive of putting money into the private equity primary market. But in the last sort of 2 weeks or even 1 month, we started to see the A-share market and the H-share market and the Hong Kong stock markets are moving along now. And I guess it's normal that the private equity market is active again. So that's good. I mean, congratulations to Alex. I think your company will be likely to increase value.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. And my take, I'm in crypto business, and so front end to back end, and I start to see money coming through. I think it's not the new money that has been generating or printing, but I think the money's like been setting aside for a while, and people start to see like, hey, let's do something. But it's more on the investment on the project still. But you see the price start to go up. You see crypto, you see Bitcoin went up 50%. You start to see other coins went up like a lot, but there's still no volume. When you look at when you calculate market cap, it's not real money. Everybody knows that. If you sell one stock for a lot of dollars and then you multiply by every stock that you have, that's a market cap. But maybe you can't sell all the stocks that you have. Maybe you can sell only 2 stocks. So when you calculate the market cap, it doesn't really reflect the real money. And especially when you're talking about crypto, the market cap's growing for sure. But the stable coin, the USDT, is still not a lot. So a lot of coins still like so small, and you really can't say. But I start to see money coming in, and I start to see investors start to talk about it. I start to have a lot of fund approaching me and start to do the co-branding and do crypto fund. So I start to see money coming in. But this year, I would say that this is a risky year to have a very unsecure or unhedged bet for the year. I think it's going to be super volatile. And for the real sector, it's going to be push and pull. You're going to see the huge gap between business world. You're going to see a lot of people being very successful. You look at ChatGPT. Microsoft put billions of dollars in there, and it started to grow. And some sectors just roar. They just like thrive. And there's some that start to have to go back and start from zero. You start to see a lot of hotel chains start to carnivore each other. So you start to see hotels start to give up their chains, or small hotels sell their business to people. So you start to see people have to start over with the business that they have, and you start to see a big the carnivorism mechanics going on here, and you start to see a lot of people getting really rich during these couple of years, and you will see a lot of people had to start back from zero. So this year is going to be a super stretchy year that you will see everything all at once in this year, and because of that, I my take is it's going to be highly volatile. I think you have to keep the ears on the ground. You have to know, and I have to, not everybody, not just you, but everybody has to know where to put their money. And this is my year to really stay alert and really focus on the whole picture to see where the money's flowing. But it's going
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
one of a difficult year to invest. Sorry, you, Marco.
No, no, I'm agreeing with you, and I think if we have to kind of go back to our title today, it's sell in May and go away. I think now is the time to kind of do some short-term investment, maybe like you buy some stocks that you really think it's going to be a good company, good prospect, and then just trying to be wary about getting out, maybe cash in something around April and May, right? In
Mm.
case.
In case. And I think this year is a good year for swing trade, short-term trading. Um, if you go for a long haul, you buy, if you're like value investor, you just get one good company and you just shut the computer down, really, because
Mm,
it's going to be very, very exciting
yeah.
movement throughout the years. And you, so from the macroeconomic side, you just don't know what the Fed is doing. And there's a saying, don't fight the Fed. If the Fed doesn't pump in money, you just don't fight the Fed and don't bet it up. So everything is, people believe that everything is exactly what Fed said. And that's why you see the
And
price going.
and while we're at it, May, what do you think of Bitcoin? I mean, Bitcoin has been growing. I mean, should I sell all my Bitcoins in May?
Well, May is months away. So and this year, I think if you want to go swing trade, if your time frame is weeks or days, I think we should keep tab, truly.
Yeah.
And this is the nature of thing. People speculate before, like, okay, because Fed's going to do whatever it said, and it's under the control. That's why the price goes up. And if next month Fed say, oh, I'm sorry, can't do it, then the interest rate has to go more than what we discussed about, then everything will go down. So right now people speculate that this is what's going to happen because of all the numbers. So
Mm,
that's why I'm saying it's going to be a very difficult to decide. So if you want to go swing trade, I think we should talk about the technical analysis and look at the graphs and MACD and all the boring terms. And but if you go for a long haul, I recommend not looking at it.
mm, I see.
So it really depends
Very good.
on how you're doing. There's another way you can set up a Bitcoin Lightning node, and you can earn 3 to 5% on the Lightning node that you set up. Our team has a service of node Bitcoin node set up. You put node there, you facilitate people to with their transaction. After set up the
Okay.
node, you don't have to waste much of money, but you will earn Bitcoin through facilitating others through your channel. So I mean that's a way
Awesome.
you can earn without trading. There are ways to make money in the crypto world, but you really have to
Mm,
look.
no, that's great.
Yeah.
No, we're trying to keep the show under 20 minutes, and I think it's time to wrap up, right? Wow, it's
All
quick.
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we
Surprisingly.
just have a little talking point. So, okay, anyways, yeah, for all people, thanks for tuning in. I'm Alex again.
And May.
I'm Marco, and sell in May.
Okay, take
All
care.
right. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.